That sounded that was just this wonderful welcome to church intro. I'm using that one every week now. That was so much nicer than like the previous like TikTok down into nothing. Oh, that is, at least for now, that is the new, like, I like that. It's Logan, mighty bold of you to assume we're all human. You know what? If you're robots, you're welcome here too. It's if any of you guys recognize the initial, this cannot continue. Hello, Akiko. The this cannot continue reference to Nier Automata. I just finished playing that, so I'm feeling very, very my I'm feeling what's the word I'm looking for? Very existentially connected to my robot kin. That's the word I'm looking for. Logan, I'm a meat popsicle. That game leaves you wondering, how are we disconnected from the robots? Really, how are we that different? I kept I kept looking for something to. It's right today. I'm dealing with a little bit of my headache is not get. There are days where I wake up every morning with a bit of a headache and I have to take my meds, and that normally gets the headache under control really quickly. Today it's not cooperating, so I'm dealing with a little bit of a banger, and I'm trying to get it under control. And if it's not getting itself to functional within the next half hour, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna have to pull this a little early. But the other thing is I'm hunting around for stuff to chat about via with regards to COVID, and here's the thing. I get it that there's a ton in the news, but it's all over the place. There's just COVID everywhere, and there's a vaccine coming, and nobody seems to be willing to sacrifice one Thanksgiving for the and this makes me really sad. So Kiko, don't be mad. So anyways, I finally ordered. I didn't think there was going to be. So you got a couple of you guys know, I put onto, as you guys can, bottom of the bottom of the description of this video, there's a link to my Amazon wish list, and one of you guys, thank you Akiko, ordered me the bullhorn from that, because I was like, there are all these parties in my neighborhood constantly, and I want to go yell at these people that there's still a pandemic happening, because they've apparently forgotten. I didn't think there would be a party so soon, like, especially right now. Like, I thought that there was a raging party last night, and I'm like, oh, I have failed. I have failed my patron who ordered me this bull. Anyways, so last night, like, went on Amazon. I'm like, I need those batteries immediately. Anyway, so it's the fact that there's still, like, it wasn't just like my roommates and I are watching this party just raging on, and we're like, what is there any chance these are roommates? Because we live in a street with a lot of houses that are roommate situations. We're like, maybe it's roommates. We definitely heard many a time from across the street, we could hear people, hi, what's your name? These were not old friends. These were not people who lived together. These were people coming together for libations with strangers during the worst part of the pandemic, when here's the crazy part. There are fewer than 100 hospital beds, or sorry, ICU beds in LA right now. This is not the time to fuck with this. Why? Just this is a bad idea. Not the time to. And my dog dog has awoken and will be joining us shortly. He's taking a quick stop at the water bowl. Buddy, come on, buddy. Hi. He's looking at me very confused. Anyways, but yeah, it's just it's a little terrifying to live in a major city knowing that you're starting to get to the point where it's limited on what you have for ICU capacity. They're gonna start having to ration care soon. And people are still making really, really dangerous decisions with their health. Like, and it's obviously not just like, I was just having a look at the statistics for ICU beds in Los Angeles, and what we normally have. Let me have a look at the numbers for this. Normally there are 2,300 ICU beds in LA, and there are, and there are an amount of those that we have to have available for other things, for other conditions that people are going to, bring them into the ICU, bring them out on a regular basis, right? And about it's right now it has listed as 41% of those are occupied by non-COVID cases, and I'm not sure how many of those are classified incorrectly as non-COVID and classified correctly as COVID. But right now we're down to fewer than 100 out of the 2,300 in Los Angeles that are normally sitting there available for all 10 million people. And when you have 10 million people, about, give or take, I'd say about 9 million of whom in the city have not gotten COVID yet, all of whom have really juicy lungs, more than 100 of them in the next few weeks are probably going to get sick enough to need ICU beds if we keep not staying home. So continuing to see people just not stay at home, going out and having a party, saying, but this might be Grandpa's last Thanksgiving. We really want to see it. Yeah, it's gonna be Grandpa's last Thanksgiving if you see it. I can't believe we're still having to explain this. And there were a couple things I wanted to address in the last in the last chat, and we really last live stream really turned into, we really dove hard into the story of my 2-day case of having a Y chromosome. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that. Having Zion is always wonderful. He's a good friend of mine. I adore him, and I'm glad that we had him on to break up the monotony of COVID everything. Also, it was as much as pardon me, as much as it was a rough few days mentally. It was a great break from having to obsess over COVID for a few days. But it's at this point, like looking at where we are, like we've been there. We've seen, like, very 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 talkative doggy over here. We've seen this happen over and over again with, the cases go up. And normally when we see them go up, we have a lockdown. People stay home for at least a little while and the cases go down again, right? Hold on. Buddy, come here. We're a very organized live stream over here, right? Hello. Hi, baby. What are you doing? Oh, hello. He's a very sweet puppy. Okay. He's better now. Anyways, but, we had, like normally with the last few times it's gone up, gone down, gone up, gone down. Like, people will lock down at least a little bit more right after it happens. Like there's a surge up and people will kind of panic and go home a little bit. This time, as cases have been surging, was right when Thanksgiving happened. So cases were going up and getting worse. Sai Mom has entered the chat. And right as that was going on was when everyone's like, okay, I know it's a bad idea, but my family's the exception where it's totally fine if I go home because I'm gonna do everything right. It's gonna be fine. And here's it, like, I also know that most people who went home for Thanksgiving, just statistically, most people who went home aren't going to get sick. So they're going to sit there and be like, but I didn't get sick, so it was fine. You didn't get sick this time. A lot of people did though. It's true for, it's like, I look at it and go, why take the risk right now? I don't see the point in taking the risk for all of it. It's just, it's terrifying that people are still out there being very reckless. And of course, it's Dave Herbert said, are we talking about COVID? We're going to be talking about COVID until like next year, probably. And I think the most painful part about watching people just still saying, I'm healthy. What's wrong if I go out and do what I want? Because if I get it, I'll be fine. If you get it and and you're interacting with people in your family, like if you're going to the holiday party, you young person who are young and healthy, you go to the holiday party with other people in your family that, they made that choice too. But, it's your old Uncle Dave who's 70, has diabetes, has asthma, has all the comorbidities. Maybe he got far worse information than you, and isn't aware that all the things he has going wrong with him are going to leave his lungs just sitting right out there for COVID to chew up. And I don't know, maybe we have to act with deference for the people around us that are going to be in much worse situations if this gets to them. Maybe maybe we have to act compassionately towards the people around us. I don't know, but it's like if all of this relies on us having to teach people that they have to be caring, I think we're screwed because I don't think that there's any way we can teach people that they have to give a shit. Like it's because I mean, how many of you guys have gotten into this argument where it just comes down to, oh, there's it just comes down to trying to talk someone into the fact that wearing a mask is not some horrible aggrievement against their freedoms. And it's like I don't feel like I've ever gotten into an argument with someone about pants. Pants being, yeah, having to wear pants is some sort of a terrible agreement against their freedom, right? Everyone's like to be fair, I am against my pants wearing overlords. However, like but Buddy is against pants wearing overlords too, right? Yeah. Hello. Oh, hi, baby dog. He's having himself a little morning. I need some snuggles times. Sadago is back indeed. It's I don't know if I need to bounce him like a baby or he needs to be bounced like a baby or what, but it makes us both feel better. I don't know who's getting emotional comfort out of him being the emotional comfort dog, but it's working for both of us. It's Peter said people who are known deniers should be triaged. I'm okay with that. I can't talk anybody into doing it, but it seems for me it's a good idea. It works very well for me. But every time I see one of these people commenting online and how I saw somebody saying it half jokingly, and I was ready to be like, "Roar!" Somebody said it, 99.7% survival rate though, and I'm like, I realized after I was about ready to, rage against them that they were kidding, but it's like, oh man, the number of people I still see arguing that it's a 99.9 whatever percent survival rate. And I'm like, that 0.3% of New York City has already died, right? Like it can't be a 0.0 whatever percent survival rate when 0.3 of New York has already kicked it. Just saying, that's the numbers aren't adding up for but this is it's inconvenient to their narrative. Like I don't know if they think we want these numbers to be this high. We didn't. That's why we stayed home. But yeah, it's not easy. Let's see. Jillian Ratliff just asked, isn't it more like 98? No, it does seem like the infection, like there are two numbers that get thrown around a lot. There's case fatality rate and infection fatality rate. So case fatality rate, and that's why the apparent rate at which people are dying is in the US is 3%, which is way inflated. And we didn't know at first. We didn't realize how many asymptomatic cases there were. We weren't testing widely enough, so we were only seeing the much more sick people. Infection fatality rate, and Ellery Curtis asks, does IFR matter when bodies are piling up? Yeah, it does matter what the overall number are. Like no matter what, the real numbers matter, at least in my book. But the overall infection fatality rate generally means, looking at it like it's going to depend on which country we're in, how healthy the people there are, how old people there are, how what the average underlying conditions are. It really depends on the population. But it's plunking it at about 1% is accurate is good enough for doing general calculations. Melissa Knox just pointed out with it's always pants and bra optional here. No. I have banned bras here. That they're not allowed. It's pants are optional. Bras, they're just we got rid of those like a month into the pandemic. They might come back occasionally for polite company, but like if there's just a camera coming into my home and like there's a reason that my chest is like here, like those just don't enter the equation. Just nah, no need for one. If you're just seeing me, like the nipple line is below here. That's just I set up my life for comfort. I wear kitty ears. There's just, you see what I want you to see. It all works out so well for me. I get to talk about the COVIDs. I get to keep my boobs to myself and comfort. Like if the other thing is without wearing a bra, like they're just so drooped so low that you can't tell I'm not wearing a bra. It works out. It works out so well for me. Everything's coming up Millhouse. It's wonderful. So hold on one second. Let's see. One person, Ellery, commented, some say IFR can be as low as 0.25%. Those folks assume huge spread of asymptomatic cases. There is no way that the IFR is 0.25 because, like I said, it's we are 0.3% of New York City has already died. It's just it doesn't make mathematical sense for the IFR to be 0.25. It's just nah. It's the lowest we will see it. I'm gonna guess is gonna be bare minimum is gonna be, I would say, 0.6. It's probably gonna be closer to 0.8. I could be wrong, but I doubt we'll see it in especially in countries like the US where we have a major obesity issue. We're not going to see it lower than 0.6 to 0.8 at a bare minimum. I remember early in the pandemic there was a release from the CDC saying it was like 0.25, and there were articles tearing that to shreds and showing that there were no estimates that low from any reputable place. So yeah, there's no there's no reason to suspect that it's 0.25. I don't know where you're getting that information, but it's not accurate. Kieran Madden just asked somewhat skeptically, 0.3% of New York City is dead of COVID. Yes, that's accurate. I don't think people understand how bad this is. When 20,000 people and here's the thing, this is including when you do out the math, including cases that are, I could be somewhere between 0.25 and 0.3. I could be off a little bit on this, but even if you add in the cases that are suspected COVID, yeah, it's quite a bit. The people are, I think people are shocked when they realize what 20,000 out of that number of, or 25,000 out of that number of million is, but it's pretty high. Here's the thing, we have to remember that also, let's take into account looking at New York City, how many people have had COVID so far. It's estimated that somewhere between 25 and 30% of the city has had the disease. So again, comes out to about 1% for an IFR, give or take. And I mean, like I said, there's some wiggle room on that. So we're just kind of at the really depressing part of this whole thing, where it's just there's a lot of dying. The only thing to do is stay home. It's really hard to do that because our government in the US is not giving any support that's making this easier financially for people that don't have jobs, that allow them to stay home. And the vaccine is in sight. It's in sight, but it's just far enough away. Dear Lord, I'm not talking normally today. It's just far enough away that it's inconvenient, especially if you don't have the financial resources to stay home. And it's like, if you're looking at this from outside of the country, I don't know what you think of the US right now. This is just a disaster. What are my thoughts on schools reopening? I'm still confused on what to think of this, because schools, I thought they were going to be a much bigger disaster when they were. I think one of the main reasons that they weren't is, as my friend Tara, she's been on here and we talked a few times, said, my friend Tara Haley, the science journalist, said part of the reason that they weren't as bad is because they weren't at full capacity. And I get it. This has sucked for kids. It sucked for everyone. And people are talking about how much kids are. Yeah, they are. I'm not going to deny that this has been bad for kids in terms of mental health and their ability to thrive academically. This has not been good or easy for them at all. But if schools had been opened at full capacity, this would have been the pandemic would have been far worse, and opening right now would be awful. So the fact that they are home right now is, I know most, or there are quite a few states, I believe, that have, just dog is whining. There are quite a few states that have closed down right now and are closed down until after Christmas. So it's probably the responsible thing to do. I don't know how much better things are going to be right after Christmas. I'm terrified. This is really as bad as I hope this is as bad as the pandemic gets. We have an end in sight, which is as good as remember when this started, when we were like, man, it could take until next summer or next, we did not know when we were going to see a vaccine from this. And the fact that I have a very whiny dog today. very whiny. What's wrong? What's wrong, my son? What's up? Hi. Is that what's up? Is that what's happening? He needed some snuggles there. Hi. Hello. What's going on? What's going on? There we are. There we are. Okay. Okay. It's he's a slippery little dog. There we. He wants snuggles or he wants to slip out of my lap, and I'm not sure which. But we're holding you here for now. Yes, we are. Buddy, I feed you, and so I get to snuggle you when I need comfort. That's how this works. This is the nature of our relationship, boy. No, he's just he's a very sweet pup. He's a very easily annoyed pup at times. I say it's like when he was a little dog, and I mean he's as a tiny dog gets cold very easily. Tiny dog, I'd put a sweater on him and he'd tuck his little paws in to put the sweater on very easily. Now he sees a sweater and he's like gets very mad very quickly. So just like I said, gets very fussy with doesn't like to get his nails trimmed. And when I say doesn't like to get his nails trimmed, 12-pound dog turns into a velociraptor as soon as he sees a nail trimmer. So like I said, very cute. I think if someone were to steal him from me, they'd bring him back as soon as he needs a nail trim. They were like, "We're just kidding. Here you go." So cute, but he comes as cute as he is stupid. So he's very cute. Not getting into Harvard, this one. He'll get by on a welding scholarship. Cute dog, stupid dog. Anyways, back to this over here. So yeah, with schools, like I don't know if there's an answer because there's no good answer that involves large amounts of people being in a building together. And like schools haven't been an out and out disaster, but there have been outbreaks in places where there have been where they haven't really done restrictions and people haven't been as good about masks. So yeah, someone just said, "Good thing you don't have cats." Oh, you're new here. I have 3. It's we're like there's just fur in my pores here. Let's see. Let's try to see if we can correct understanding here. Am I correct in my understanding vaccine? It reduces severity. Here's the thing with the vaccine with any would that mean it vaccinated people still contract it and be so vaccines with anything? Here's the thing. As the case with any disease that a vaccine prevents, it's not a force field. Like you don't take the vaccine and then suddenly the vaccine bounces off this invisible shield around you and can never get in, right? Like if you encounter COVID out in you get the shot, you get your second, say you get the Pfizer vaccine, you get your shot, you get your second shot a month later, you're all immunized, you have all the antibodies you need to fight this off and not get a severe or a symptomatic case of COVID, you're good to go, right? You're out at a party, everyone's mask off. There's the one asshole who decided to not get vaccinated, or somebody who's been vaccinated, but they've been exposed to it and they cough it on you and you get it. All right. And it's in your system. So what's happening now that it's in your system is you have an antibody in there that recognizes COVID when it gets in there. So COVID is in there and it's starting to reproduce, and you have this one antibody that recognizes the spike protein. It's like, I know what to do with this. So it's starting to replicate. But before COVID can turn into the disease in your body, so you've caught SARS-CoV-2, the virus, but it's not going to turn into COVID-19, the disease, the symptoms for the vast. I think my dog just hurt himself. I just heard a squeak and then a runoff. I'm not sure what happened over here. I have a very fussy dog. Anyways, but so it's not going to turn for the vast majority of people will not turn symptomatic. So the antibodies that your body has built up from the vaccine are going to stop it before it turns into anything. So yes, so the punchline is that yes, it can enter your body, and yes, it can be passed on to someone else. So the best thing that you can do is in this 6 months to a year, while we're getting people vaccinated, is still continue to wear masks. So if you're getting together with a group of people, Obviously not right now, because we're not getting together with people right now. We're staying in our homes. We're catching up on The Mandalorian. We're watching all the porn we never got to watch. We're doing things in the house, is what I'm saying. It's we're waiting for a vaccine. After we get the vaccine, though, there's going to be a period where not everyone's vaccinated, right? Well, so wait to see your friends until they're vaccinated. If you've got friends you want to see while you're in mixed company, some people vaccinated, some people not. See people outside, still masked. When people are vaccinated, that's when you can start to see people masked. But or that's when you can start to see people like together inside without masks on. But remember, you're going to catch and spread this thing after you've been vaccinated. You're just not going to have you're not going to get symptomatic disease. Just please recall that it's still out there. It's just not going to be passed in a way that's going to hurt you. So that's how that's what's happening with that. So I'm glad. I hope that explained it a little bit better. Let's see. There's a question here about let's see, non-danger of shorts and no bra. Let's see, is there a danger of shorts and no bra? I don't think I'm just saying, I think that there could be danger if there's bra and no shorts. I feel that that's a combination that could be dangerous. I'm just saying. Catching up with the porn we missed. That's a lot of porn. Look, I have faith in you guys. I want you to have the strongest wrists possible when you leave this. There's a lot to do. There's so much porn on the internet. Those porn stars need your support. I'm friends with most of them. They want what they want from you is for you to masturbate to them more. Just saying. Just trying to make sure make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. Buddy, what are you doing? My dog is now burrowed under the blanket behind me. It's a very, very silly, tiny thing. Hold on a second. I don't know. Have you guys every single time you have like a short coughing fit? Are you sure it's COVID? Yesterday I had a coughing fit for a good 20 minutes, and it felt like a tickle in my throat. But I'm sure I'm like, yep, this is it. This is the COVID. But there was I think I mentioned this on Friday. I've said before, I have a house full of housemates. We live in a big old Victorian. We got a new housemate not that long before Thanksgiving. And he's an older guy, he's in his 60s. It's a commune. It has people from their mid-20s up to their mid-60s, and it's just like I said, big house. You can go weeks without running to everyone who lives here. And here's the thing. Being a man of a certain age, he doesn't take kindly to, restrictions on how he moves or lives or does his life. And yesterday or on Friday, just drove to Palm Springs for a night of doing hot spring stuff with his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, you're just going out and living life as though we're not in the worst part of a giant deadly pandemic. And you live with people. That's the thing you're doing right now. We've gotten to this point in the pandemic with all these other people that I live with, and everyone else is taking this really seriously and not been a dick about it. So what I'm saying is, if I get it now, it's because of this one dickhead that just moved in and decided now is the time to go on vacations. Now is the time to go just hang out with strangers. I'm going to be very angry. There will be yelling on here. Let me rephrase that. If I can make it through the coughing to yell, there will be yelling on here. But yeah, that happened, and there was some upsetness. I was not down with it. I was not okay with it. So there was just. And whilst discussing this with other housemates, they're like, he just can't keep himself away from her. I'm like, yeah, but she lives in LA. They don't have to go to Palm Springs to visit. They could visit here. They want hot springs. They could just take a hot bath together. That'll do for now. I don't get to do anything fun either. None of us do. That's part of this. If we'd all stayed home together all at the same time earlier in this, what would have happened? We'd be out of this by now. No. Oh, wait, is this accurate? A couple people are saying Giuliani has COVID. Does Giuliani really have COVID? It's not that I don't trust you guys to tell me the truth. It's just I don't trust Joy. I mean, that's horrible. Giuliani, COVID. Like, don't tell me something that. Oh my God! That's terrible. It's real. It's how is ah, just to share the joy here. It's just that's real. It's real. And it's happening, and it's happening right now. Oh my God! I Is it Christmas? It's not. Is it my birthday? It's almost. It's the most wonderful time of the pandemic for Giuliani to get COVID because I'm just saying, if you're gonna get COVID and you're an awful person, do it while there are no hospital beds left. Oh, oh, look, there is good news. There is good news in COVID. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Oh, God, he got COVID, and I hope it's awful. Sorry, I can't feel bad for these people who have made this pandemic so awful for so many people, and could have with very, very little work, very little fucking work, made this just marginally less terrible. Oh man, seeing this get bad for them makes me feel just a little less awful about the universe. I hope I'm not saying I hope for his death, but I'm saying I hope he's in pain. I hope it hurts. I hope I I hope that while he's having his last dreams about fucking his cousin, he does it through drowning in his lungs. Through drowning in his lungs. This last little, just like we all hope that just like we all feel like we're doing whatever we think about the fact that Giuliani fucked his cousin. You know, I'm just saying, oh man. I needed that today. I really needed that today. I think I see things like this, and I think people are better people than me when they say things like this. I hope he learned something from this. He is he's a man roughly in his early hundreds who works for Donald J. Trump. He's not gonna learn shit from it. All right, he's not gonna learn from this. He's not gonna learn from getting COVID. Why do you think he would learn from this? I feel like I've said something that has set off some knowledge for someone. Ellery, he fucked his cousin. He did not fuck his cousin. He married his cousin. Oh yeah. He found out, I think, like what, 2 decades into the marriage, that it wasn't just like it was his second cousin. So that's like cousin enough that he should have fucking known. Like that's just I'm just yeah. I'm not making this up. That's yeah. But he definitely, Rudy Giuliani's a cousin fucking son of a bitch, and he has COVID now. So yeah, it's like I said, you could look that up. I'm just saying, he's a ghoul in his early hundreds who was leaking shit straight out of his face a few days ago. He ain't gonna. I mean, I hope I hope that prayer works for them just as well as it's worked to help stop gun violence in schools. That's all I can pray for one Mr. Rudolph Giuliani. Whew. Just, I want to be nicer about this, but fuck them, fuck them all. Oh my God. So we're so fucking close to a vaccine, and we're so close to not having to. It's, I keep telling you guys, like it's Kieran Madden. So like Queen Albert or to do Queen Victoria and Albert. Then I could be mistaken, but I believe that it's, and I was trying to look up the ancestry on this. I believe that Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip are likewise, I want to say, second cousins. They are not that distantly related either. Those royals, they are alarmingly down with their inbreeding. I just something a little weird about that. Mm. People are now. I feel the comment section has turned into a large discussion of people banging their cousins. Just a reminder, like we don't. Oh, I appreciate the clarification from Goldie. They're third. The queen and her husband are third cousins. That makes it so much better. So much. It's still. I'm saying this as an Acadian, hence somebody who comes from a long line of people who definitely banged their cousins. It's still weird. It's definitely weird. It's like I feel like if you're going to be like a monarch, like what, like couldn't you could have found anyone else, someone else, like a little further out. You had a big enough pool to choose from, but no, like when it's still, I don't know. There's something about it being within pool, like the second cousin pool. That's weird. It's a little weird. Somebody over Joseph over on Periscope asked if this is live. If it's not live, it's very weird that I'm answering your question right now. Just saying that. And if this wasn't live, this is a very poor amount of planning for something that's planned out. So let's see where somehow this has devolved into the discussion of famous and political people who have fucked their cousins, and I don't know how we got here. Oh yeah, it's Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani opened up a very scary door for us here. I apologize. This was not where I intended for this to go when we were celebrating Rudy Giuliani having a really bad day. Buddy, come here. There's no need to shout over here. We're having a good day, buddy. It's a good day. It's good news. My little nose polisher. Cousin fucking rabbit hole. I feel like if you add cousin fucking to the beginning of anything, it just becomes a good an angry little a good little angry rant. These cousin fucking just anything. Speaking as an Italian, I haven't met all of my second cousins or even their parents. Yeah, speaking as an Acadian, I have just the list is long. Actually, I've now seen the list of people who are my second cousins on my Jewish side. It's very, very long, and I don't think I'll be able to make contact with all of them in my entire life. It's just whoosh, very long. In the royal family, oh yeah, it's if anyone's like, I feel like I can't be the only one who's binged The Crown during lockdown. So I've just been surprised at, I mean, not surprised at, but kind of like, Jesus Christ, these people are monsters, with watching how tightly they approve, and of course, everyone, you can't watch The Crown without like Googling everything after you watch it, because, they take some liberties, but like the fact that they have to approve every single marriage that goes through there. Yeah, of course they've done some inbreeding, because they're like, oh no, those bloodlines are bad. Use these bloodlines, and eventually the same thing happens as when you breed dogs to the point where you say only these 3 bloodlines are okay. Eventually you have bloodlines that produce the Habsburg chin, and you get hemophilia, and just stop making cousins fuck all the time. It's a bad idea. It's bad. Anyways, but as has been pointed out, it's as has been pointed out, The Crown is very fictional, though. It is very fictional, like, and it's been it's interesting how it's I guess the lines are so blurred on that, that even like that the royal family is like asked for it to be clarified by Netflix that this is fiction, and it's like, yeah, we all know it's fiction. That's why, like I said, most people watch it and like immediately after are Googling like crazy, because it's like this. So much of it seems like it's like, well, this could have happened, but what really happened? Like, I think you watch the episodes and afterwards are like, did this go on? So that's the only way you can watch that show, is just watch and then Google, and then just scream hatred at a picture of Prince Charles for 10 minutes, because how can you not? So it's just it's how you watch. It's how you watch. Anyways, let's back to back to yelling about COVID for a few minutes because, you know, we have to deal with our current reality right now. Like we're at, it's, here's, I feel like I kind of have to agree with this one. I'm no royalist, but I can't watch it anymore. It seems slanderous and it's I don't know if it's I I thought I was going to agree with you, and then I got to the end of this. I don't think it seems slanderous. I think that it just seems like it's humanizing them, because I think there's nothing wrong with showing people as they are, human. That's kind of, I think, what people like about it, is because at the end of the day, like it's been kind of wonderful to have a series about the monarchy that doesn't just have them appearing as the monarchy with the hand waving. It shows them as the human beings that are having real human life issues behind the scenes, and having human issues that have to do with the fact that being a monarch intersects with being, you know, a wife and a mother, and how those things have affected the fact that have really hurt these people. That, you know, as much as it's hard to pity someone who has everything handed to them, it's interesting it's interesting that seeing humanizing them. It's thank you for this comment from Peter Edwards. To some royalists, humanizing the royal family is slandering. Yeah, it's like there's, you know, like it's hard to pity people who grew up in a castle, but at the same time, you look at the fact that they have these strict set of rules that they were just born into, and it's hard not to look at that and go, this, you know, these circumstances you know, for it were impossible to not hurt these people. Like there's you know, from the top down, it was going to screw up a set of lives. And why not look at them honestly and in the bare light of day and say, you know, even with some obvious you know, even with some royalty or some artistic license and some attempt to make it something palatable to watch, obviously, because you can't just, you know, it's not a documentary. But there's a really interesting story to be told there, in which you're not sure, there's no clear hero, there's no clear villain. There are just people who you're trying to understand. I think that makes for fascinating television. I think that that's kind of what makes The Crown so great. And if people don't like that about the show because they think it's slanderous, then maybe they should consider what's wrong with royalty, not what's wrong with the show. And that's why it's such a good show, because it makes you consider what's wrong with royalty. So if you think it's slanderous, don't get mad at the show, get mad at royalty. So that's them be my thoughts on it. And if you don't like those thoughts, I hope you have thoughts about them, not just say it's slander. I want to know why you think it's slander. I want words. I don't want, yeah. I agree in principle, but it depends on, in humanizing someone, that person is made out unfairly. Tell me what's unfair about there. No one's been made to be unfairly villainous. They've all been portrayed by the historical record quite fairly. That no one here has been made out, no one on The Crown has been portrayed to be a bad, like, no, not a single person in the royal family has been portrayed as just all 100% bad. They've all been portrayed fairly nuanced. Even the ones who are kind of, quote, the bad guys, you feel kind of a little bad for them, because they're all kind of tethered to the rules of the crown. Like, this is not unfair. I don't think any of them are getting, you, like, even Prince Charles in his worst moments, you're looking at it going, he was screwed up by his father. He never wanted to marry this person. This was not where he wanted to be. I'm just saying, this is not unfair. Not at all. Just saying. I have a hard time feeling like any of that was mean to them. Given that it's a drama. Let's see. Having a look. Watch the video of the Charles and Di interview engagement on the show, then watch the one on Netflix. I don't see how the one on the show is a fair depiction. I don't know if we were watching different shows. I guess perhaps you're more of a royalist than you think. Don't know what else to tell you. So maybe where it's all. Let's see. HJK said, "Oh man, now Trey Crowder is live." It's see, I can't. Thank you, baby. It's see, Trey Crowder being live means that I don't know what I can do to compete. But the other thing is I only have about 15 more minutes in my brain because I've like I said, still still having a bit of a headache. Um, a request to have Trey Crowder on TG1M. I think I could definitely go for some Trey Crowder over on TGOM. That is one thing I could definitely have a little bit of him on there. I was really I don't know if I want to say sad, but I've watched his my husband and I have watched his live stream. He had a guest on the other day, and they were talking about the vaccines. And I was a little. They were not misinforming, but they were incorrect on something on the vaccine. It's hold up. What dear? Oh, okay. I didn't. It's his regular co-host. Not a guest. But they said that there was they made a few incorrect comments about the COVID vaccine. They said that all the vaccines needed 2 shots, and I'm like, no. The J&J vaccine is only 1 shot. And they weren't sure about how they were making a few just inaccurate comments about how COVID spread. And I'm like, and here's the thing, they weren't trying to. And it's like, man, I really like because they have he's someone who has access to experts because he's got a big platform. Like I wish he would call a few experts on to talk about that. Trey, call me. Not that I'm like the expert. It's just I can be funny while talking about it. It's just Z, you can't keep yourself away, can you, Z? Can't go to sleep. People on the internet are wrong. Oh man, it's people are realizing that I drink something for caffeine other than coffee or other than Diet Coke. Just look, like every so often, I get caffeine in more than one form. If I had my choice, if one day, the dream is that I'll have Diet Coke on tap in the house. Oh, one of my friends, I have a professional musician friend who has like I think a Diet Coke and a Diet Dr. Pepper station on tap in the house, and he's like that has been the dream his entire life, and he's just it's like look, I get it. We have different like litmus tests for how we made ourselves into a success. And I think that will be my litmus. Like, have I gotten myself to a point where not only can I afford this to be installed into my house, but is it my house enough that will make the investment to install this? But he got that. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I want for my life. And I also, I know that I'm a little bit of a trash panda. Cheers. So let's address this because I know that I tend to get the most, the most bullshit comments. And I don't know a person who's saying this, if you're saying this just to throw a bomb, or if this is a thing that you're asking about. So apparently an ex-VP from Pfizer is claiming their vaccines cause infertility. There is zero evidence. Pardon me, apparently coffee makes me burp. There is no evidence to suggest that their vaccine causes infertility. I don't know how that. I don't know if the person from Pfizer is. I don't know if this. Here's the thing. I've tried to find any evidence about this. I even found when poking through it, I did try to find one thing about it. When I hunted for it, I found that it had already been Snopes to like the only thing I found when I looked this up was one Snopes article saying this isn't true. So it's hard to find a study saying that a bullshit thing isn't true when it's just somebody who's throwing a bomb into there and being like, let's see if I can make disinformation stick. So when it's just disinformation like that, it's like, oh, if I can scare people off by saying that something really horrible is going to happen, like it's just something that's out there that's going to terrify people. There's zero evidence from all of the studies to suggest that this is true, and there are at this point 30,000 people in the vaccine and of this trial, you'd think by now that one of the 30,000 out of 30,000 people, I believe there are 15,000 men and 15,000 women. One of the 15,000 women would probably have noticed. There would probably be a support group by now. At least there have to be. It's most of them are within their childbearing years. Someone would have noticed. Like, here's the thing: either some of them would have noticed, or it wouldn't have been enough time. Like, not enough time would have passed for any of them to have noticed. But the fact that they're claiming their vaccine causes infertility, this one guy claims he's an ex-VP from Pfizer, and his claim, it's like I'm almost embarrassed that I'm spending time on this, because it's just there's nothing to back this up. So either way, the fact that I'm working on getting a tubal litigation, I'm like, could I just get part of me is like, wait, so if the shot causes infertility, could I just get it and not get a tubal? I'd be down. Like, if that's what it causes, I'd be. But hold on a second. The one thing that I want to point out that this headline was a little misleading. I did see a headline that there was that it suggested that COVID could cause erectile dysfunction issues in men, but there hasn't been any firm evidence to support this. Now, there was there was a suggestion that because of a couple of different things that it could cause, whether it would be hormonal imbalance or whatnot, that it could lead to this. But there hadn't been, I hadn't seen any documented cases long term that that men were having erectile dysfunction issues after COVID. Of course, I'm not sure if there are people for firm evidence. You're welcome. I did that on purpose. Yeah. I'm gonna pretend I was that. It's sure I've had enough coffee to do that. Anyways, but there doesn't seem to be any evidence to support this that we know of. And here's the other question: are the cases, and this is what I'm curious about, are the cases that are bad enough to have produced issues of infertility, of erectile dysfunction, are they bad enough that the people that are going to experience that, are they just, and I say this with all due sensitivity, are they bad enough that they're the people that are experiencing the post-COVID syndrome, the really awful brain fog, they can barely get out of bed? Are they just so bad that those people aren't in the mood to jerk off and haven't figured it out yet? And I say this as someone who understands, no matter how sick you are, sometimes you really still just want to jerk off. I don't know if we just haven't figured out yet that this is happening to some people, but there was kind of a headline saying that this could lead to ED, and it doesn't seem. Yeah, again, doesn't seem to be firm. It's guys, don't give me credit for that. That was I'm not. Sometimes I meet it. Sometimes just sometimes I just got off easy. You're welcome. Anyways, looking back, I feel like I missed a good joke somewhere up here. Well done. I wish I could click on your links when you guys post them in here. It's one downside to Restream.io. I love that I'm still scrolling through and seeing occasional just comments of joy that Giuliani tested positive. Hey, honey, guess what? Guess what? Sweetheart. Baby. What? Guess what? Rudy Giuliani has COVID. Well, what? My husband's response to Giuliani getting COVID was, maybe his hair will melt all the way off. Just wanted to share that with you. Just wanted that moment of joy to be shared all the way around. So just it's been I'm so I don't know if I'm happier than I should be about Giuliani getting COVID, but look, we're at that point of they can't hurt us anymore. I've been amazed that all of their stupid fucking what is it? Are they 1 for 40 something at this point with their stupid fucking lawsuits going through? It's it's like we're at that point where where two of our big guy friends are moving the evil ex-boyfriend out, and we're like, we just have to keep having someone assure us he can't hurt you anymore. Like he still he still knows where, like we need to, we're almost out of there, we just still are a little jumpy, can't hurt you anymore, they're almost out. But man, I don't know. I just still, I wake up and I don't panic when I wake up anymore, thinking what awful thing am I going to see online, indicating that something like it's going to be, has gone horribly awry. Like, do you remember beginning of the Trump presidency? And look, I can't not go political for 5 seconds. Rudy Giuliani got COVID today. I was going to avoid it, but here we are. But like, do you remember beginning of the presidency? Like I remember this. I'm embarrassed. I was wrong. I tweeted beginning of Trump, like right after he got elected or beginning of the presidency, I forget which. Like I was like, look, I hope that maybe I was wrong about the worst case scenario. Maybe this was all a show, and maybe when he gets into office, there will be better people around him who will make him adult a little bit, and maybe America won't be it won't be as bad as it will. I'm hoping America will be okay. It's so. It's Martin Waters. New side babe spot. Yvette walks around telling people that Giuliani has COVID. I'd watch it. I could, that could be a new part for the show. I'll just walk around gleefully telling the world that. But here's the thing. I was hoping it could be less bad than I thought. That was. And then, like, within the first week, like, all those executive orders came down. Like, do you guys remember? It was like inauguration. And then, like, the day after that, it was like, oh my God, you didn't know what you'd wake up to every day. It was like, you didn't know what the next awful thing was. Like, it's, between the Muslim ban, between just you just did not know what 3 awful executive orders you were going to wake up to next. And it was, I love that every few seconds there's another person coming into the comments letting us know that Rudy has COVID. It's just, oh, joyful day. Oh, frabjous day. But like after that, I just lost, hope. And do you remember, like, at least for me, because I'm someone who's a light sleeper, I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I'll, it's as soon as something rouses me a little bit, like I'm awake and I want to check my phone. And so that was like, I'm pretty sure that's why I started using Botox. That I'm majorly vain. Early on in the Trump presidency, was just like my head was just constantly like, like this. And anytime I looked at the screen, was just something awful was constant. Like you'd wake up and because like I'm on the West Coast, he had 3-hour jump start on the fuckery, so I'd wake up and already shit had hit the fan from the East Coast, and it was just like constant something going wrong. And now it's so hard for a lot of us in the US to transition back to he can't hurt us. He can't hurt us. And like, we still have this crazy, was Flynn because I know he was only, was he the national security advisor for like 4 days before he was fired? Like he's telling Trump to just declare martial law and overthrow the results of the election and have a new election. Because it's just such a crazy thing to suggest, like we can just look at it and go, he can't hurt you anymore. He can't hurt you. But it's so hard to look at that and go, wow, he used to be a general, a United States general, and he's just telling the president to overthrow the rule of law. Man, we're at a weird place. So it's hard. It's hard to keep reminding yourself he can't hurt you anymore. Can't hurt you anymore. Well, we have to keep telling ourselves that for a few more months. I see somebody over on YouTube asking, what do you think about COVID-19? I don't know if you're new here or not, Radio Fun 232. But I think COVID-19 is a deadly disease. It kills about 1% of the people who it infects, gives about 10% of people serious to severe cases that land them in the hospital, and sometimes even with mild cases, land you with long-term illnesses along with it. So that's what I think about COVID-19. I also think that right now we are in a serious part of the pandemic in which most which most ICUs and hospitals are pretty full. So if you want to stay safe in the event that you have a serious to severe case, you should probably stay home and socially distance as much as possible. And please wear a mask when you have to be around people. That is the most concise version of my thoughts on COVID-19 that I can give. I'm not always a harbinger of doom. Sometimes I'm delightful and I make jokes. I do that. I make dick jokes in my other job. But here I'm kind of a harbinger of doom. I'll stop harbinger of dooming eventually. Like we'll all get vaccinated and wait, it's about that time. Hold on. It's about that time. I also lick the screen here occasionally. That's what we also do here. But we deal. It's just to let you know, Radio Fun 232. We deal in facts here. And COVID, as much as I would like to COVID to have not been a fucking nightmare, it's been kind of a nightmare, and it's been bad, and that's not what we wanted. So we try to be. We try to give bad news kindly and directly, and that's what kind of how this all started. Was we weren't getting bad news kindly and directly from the administration, and that's how it was like, all right, normally before this I was doing a lot more writing, and it was hard to get an article out quickly when we needed information out quickly, and I just wanted to do these things so that you guys could get info with a day a day turnaround time. So that was why the live stream started, and that's kind of where they are now. So it's like it's been a very strange 9 months, and now as Dan Keeling so perfectly points out, this this whole thing has changed into has turned into facts, screen licks, and jokes about Ben Shapiro's wife's dry pussy. Look, I go where the joy is. I go where the joy is. I don't know if I would call I don't know if I would call Ben Shapiro's wife's dry pussy joyful. I just want to know where I can send her a Hitachi. If anyone can find out where I can send a Hitachi for her, I'll be happy. Melissa Knock, did you get batteries for? I ordered them yesterday. They should be here today. So if there are I was disappointed in myself for not ordering them earlier when there was a party across the street last night. I was like, how could they have had a party already? No, my God, these animals. But yeah, this is, I see this, and I realize that there's this misplaced optimism from people who Kieran, I'm guessing you live I'm guessing from the name that you live in either in somewhere in Great Britain or the UK. I could be wrong, but you're saying maybe a silver lining to all this might be that you guys get universal health care sooner than otherwise. Come, fellow Americans, let us throw our heads back in great laughter. Oh, so somebody from outside the U.S. thinks that America will embrace socialism. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. You think America will do something in its self-interest? You think America will raise taxes and do something that's good for it? I need more coffee to fuel this laughter. You think we'll do something that the vast majority of American citizens want? Everyone else in the Western world gives its citizens that we all want. That's vastly popular. That it's totally budgetable if we just don't buy a military so absurd that it's bigger than the next 13 countries south. Makes complete fiscal sense. It would be good for all of us, make us all healthier. You think we do that? Have you ever heard of a place called America? We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do any of that. Nah, we're not gonna do any of that. Oh my god. No, we're not gonna do any of that. No. We're gonna stick with shit. We're gonna stick with you got sick, fuck you. That's where we're sticking with. Oh man. Like I didn't mean to, I'm sorry if that came across as laughing in your face. You seem nice. Like it's just are you new here? Oh. America doesn't care about its people. Oh. I feel like I might have broken over into it's this is no I feel like this is my official night where I broke through into like my deep nihilism of someone made a joke that America might get better, or someone made a sincere comment that America might get better, and I was like, that's a joke, right? Oh, very sad. Now my contacts are blurred just from the laughter. Oh man, America, what is socialism and how can we monopolize it? Yep. It's been a day. I just like I lived in England and I had universal health care and I loved it, and then I came back here and I realized how bad things were here, and that we just and how it's and how bad the propaganda was about universal healthcare. Like when I moved to the UK for grad school, I was sure that the healthcare was going to be bad because that's what I've been told. And I came back very, with my opinion changed. And I realized like it's only, the propaganda has gotten, it's still bad, but it's like I think some people have gotten, so fed up with the American system that they've kind of, we've gotten a little bit better about breaking through it and getting more information. But there is such a tight stranglehold on some people who have never heard anything other than you have to wait 9 months just to see a doctor for a cold. Like there's no, getting through to some people is impossible about how, good the healthcare is in universal healthcare. So yeah, we're just, America's determined to stay exactly as bad as she is. So it's disappointing because, we've got a lot of smart, talented people here who we could organize this better. Anyways, so I'm still struggling to get this headache kind of under control. And I hear apparently Trey Crowder's live stream is going on now. So sorry that I'm keeping some of you from that. But anyways, I need to unplug my contacts. And I hear doing to your lenses in front of people is a little rude. But I would like to get this headache back in order. If you guys would like to do the things that help keep the channel afloat, all the links to my stuff are below my it's if you want to join my Patreon, only $1 a month will help keep a science communicator off the streets and housed and clothed, and one day when I'm allowed to go see people again, Botox so that my headaches do stay in order. That's, and I joke about it being for vanity, but it really is for my headaches, which are as I also joke, but it's not a sad joke. It's the places where I go to get Botox for my forehead or for my headaches are the types of places where the types of people who would go right now are the people who would probably not stick to social distancing order. So I'm like, I need this for my head pain. I'm just going to deal with worse headaches for a little while. Ugh. I'm skipping doctor's appointments. I'm just not going anywhere right now. Just any places where there are humans are places where you can get sick right now. Just I'm staying home. I'm getting groceries delivered for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic. Like I'm staying the fuck home. I'm avoiding people as much as possible. Anyways, to help support the channel, and I saw your comment, Miss Melissa, and I appreciate it very much. Anyways, to help support the channel, Patreon. I also do an extra monthly Patreon live stream. There's a special Patreon angle, and because there are fewer of you guys, it's just us. It's just us hanging out. Things get weirder. You guys get my special cheesecake recipe is on Patreon. I'm just saying it's worth it. Anyways, but also if you want to do a one-time donation, there's also PayPal, and I'm just saying you can. It's my favorite thing that I've done so far is throw my Amazon wish list on here just to see what'll happen. my roommates and I are really enjoying the 1.5 pound bag of cereal marshmallows that you guys sent. Those have been delightful. It's many a wonderful mug of hot chocolate have been had, topped with rainbow cereal marshmallows. My fuzzy socks have been keeping me nice and warm. Thank you guys. It's Russell, I think, is just trying to outfit my entire kitchen with things. But mainly, please just send me cookies. Cookies will make my house much better. Amazon wishlist. Thank you guys. So anyways, but mainly join the Patreon. Join the Patreon. That's the best place where you guys can just come hang out with more. Someone just said I heard a meow. Yes, you did. Oliver came over to hang out and to mainly to drool on me. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you guys again on Friday, but possibly before that, because I've been talking to a friend about coming on here and hanging out with me at some point this week. It's tentative. But anyways, I will see you guys again soon. Don't forget, Giuliani has COVID, and that's fun. That's fun, isn't it? It's fun. I love you guys. I will see you guys again soon.